Dan Geltrude, in the middle of this market that can't seem to make up its mind where it wants to go. The Dow has surrendered some triple-digit advances early, trying to come back from the better than 900-point sell-off we had at one point going into the last hour trading yesterday before 300 was shaved off. That's still a big loss. So, Dan, I dare say that if we were to have a down day after yesterday, that could be a problem. I remember back to periods where the market was tested. You didn't want to see the next day's gains evaporate. What do you think?
Well, Neil, obviously there is some concern out there, but I'm not overly concerned. I really believe that the market, this market has just been incredible as far as its vitality through so much. Let's remember, in March of 2020, the market was half where it is now. So I wouldn't count out the market right now. Granted, it's having some indigestion and we're going to see some uncertainty going through this last quarter. However, I am bullish on what happens through the remainder of the year in spite of what's happening in Washington and all the chaos going there. I have more trust in the market than I do in anything that's happening in the Capitol.
Got it. And speaking of the Capitol, the worlds were bridged with Gary Gensler, of course, the SEC chief, saying essentially he does not see this, what happened to this Chinese real estate concern as a problem or a financial meltdown type event. I'm paraphrasing here. Are you in that camp?
Yeah, I am. Listen, Neil, with the way, quite frankly, the global economy sits right now, when you have a major economy like China or some of the others around the world, and particularly the United States, when we have some problems in those economies, the rest of the world is going to feel it. Now, thankfully, I believe that our markets and our economy has remained strong enough to really be able to withstand this type of foreign hiccup. It's not a positive, but to me, it's not a significant game changer in any way.
Dan, I don't see some of the hysterical bubbles and the bundled securities that were sold, the Lehman Brothers stuff and all that preceded the last financial meltdown and came after it with housing. And I don't see that. You could argue anecdotally some signs where things are getting a little heated, but nothing like then. That doesn't rule out, a correction or maybe even, something more, but not for the same type of issues. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that, Neil. A lot of people are talking about the possibility of a correction, and the party's been going on too long, and at some point it's going to end. Well, of course it is, but listen, the market has made a lot of people look like fools trying to do, especially some short-term predictions on what the market is going to do. I personally do not see anything right now that's going to cause a major correction. Now, that doesn't mean that the market isn't going to drop, but 10% or more, that hasn't happened through March of 20, where we've had a 10% correction, and we've dealt with plenty more major issues than we see right now. Of course, Neil, a black swan event, well, another COVID strand that starts us all over. Obviously, that could happen. But barring that, interest rates staying low, with all the cash that's out there and the potential buyers, I don't see a major correction in the market, Neil. I just don't.
Yeah, in recent years, you've been rich or rewarded for buying on the dip. In fact, you've been called a dip if you didn't. I don't know how long that holds, but it's certainly been the rigor du jour, certainly over the last few years. So thank you, my friend, Dan Geltrude.